Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Yojo Outlet, your only source for G.I. Joe weapons and vehicle accessories. Don't have that incomplete Joe any longer. Connect with Yojo Outlet Center and complete that figure for an awesome price. Go check them out on eBay at Yojo Outlet Center and Facebook Yojo Outlet. Guys, you know I love a good horror movie. And what is the point of a horror movie? It's to scare you. The Fear Footage Part 1 and Part 2 accomplished that exactly. It scared me. It made me jump. And I'm not embarrassed to say, it made me shriek a few times, just like a little child. Guys, go check out thefearfootage.com. If you like found footage movies, forget that. If you like horror movies in general, if you like to be scared, if you like to pull the blanket up over your eyes, go check out The Fear Footage 1 and 2. Order it directly from thefearfootage.com. Blu-rays on sale, or go check them out on Amazon. The Fear Hey guys, Footage. Jason up the New 80s Revolution down here in the G.I. Joe cave. Back with another episode of Collecting is Half the Battle. Got a little bit of a different backdrop today. I figured, like, with each sub show, you know, with each topic show, you know, the wrestling's themed shows, the wrestling with the past, the vintage horror show VHS. We should probably, you know, like, be in the area of the collection when I'm hanging out with you, when I'm talking to you. So I guess maybe I'll try this out for now, and as this fills in, it'll look a little cooler behind me. But we're back with another collection update. We're talking about the 1984 figures still. And I am well on my way to finishing that line, like I have said a few times. I'm only down to like 3 or 4 figures for 1984. And I just picked one up last night, really cheap off eBay. And I'll be adding him to the collection. When he comes in, I'll show you. I'm waiting for a couple of weapons to come in to knock off a couple more figures, and then there's, you know, 2 or 3 figures that I have to actually buy outright, complete, and they're a little on the expensive side. Spirit, 1984's Spirit, comes with several accessories, including the hawk or the eagle with Spirit. I believe it's the eagle. That's a $50 to $60 figure, sometimes a $70 figure. Zartan is tough to complete. His accessories sometimes are more expensive than the figure. That's one that I've got to search for. And there is one particular accessory for one of the figures, and the accessory is never on eBay. There's always knockoffs, which I might end up having to get, reproduction accessories, or even like from the accessory pack where they were a different color. And that's a little walkie-talkie, like almost like a little cell phone kind of thing, walkie-talkie, and that little piece of plastic can sell for $40, $50, $60, and the figure sells for, you know, $25. So, you know, that might be hard to justify. I mean, I'm buying up all this stuff, but that might be hard to justify when a reproduction, a custom, or an accessory pack item is going to sell for 80% less. I might have to go that direction and just kind of eat it and deal with it and hope maybe someday I come across this. And I'm not telling you who or what. I mean, you probably already know, but as it comes in, I'll show you. But anyway, let's go. We got four more figures to add to the shelf. And then after this, stick around. I've got a little bit of an update about the G.I. Joe collection, and another direction that I've decided to go in, and I'll tell you why. But first up, we've got Storm Shadow, an incredible figure. One of my favorite figures as a kid, the Ninja. I always enjoyed this figure, probably because I wrestled with him a lot. You know, he was this was in an era, 84, 85, when, you know, Karate Kid and you know, karate in general was just like, you know, such a topic, such a big thing. Every kid in the 80s wanted to be a ninja and take karate, and so, you know, Storm Shadow was a great figure and great role in the cartoon as well. We do have all the accessories. We got the long sword. We've got the nunchucks. The small sword is in his backpack. We've got the bow and arrow, or the bow. We've got his arrow pack there, his backpack, and the bow snap. Oh, we're losing stuff. Anyway, that's Storm Shadow. And as soon as I get all of his accoutrements back in his hand, we'll put him back on the shelf. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this bow in while you're waiting for me. It's kind of a weird setup. There's little pegs, little notches on the back of the backpack, and the arrow, the bow, is supposed to just snap in there, but it doesn't, and then I end up wasting time. So that's okay. We're just going to put him back on the shelf. Storm Shadow has his place in G.I. Joe row. Alright, we've got a now complete Ripcord. This was one of the figures that I was waiting for the gun to come in. I had the backpack, I had the helmet and the face mask and the gas mask, and I was just waiting on the weapon. And there he is. There's your complete Ripcord. A parachutist. And we put him back up on the Joe row. We've got Thunder, and the only accessory I was waiting for on Thunder was this monocular. That's all I was waiting for, was this little part right here. When I got him, he came with the helmet and the headpiece, the earpiece there, headphones. I was waiting for this little thing right here to come in the mail. That little monocular that sits on his neck. That's the obsession of the Joes. You gotta wait and wait and wait until you get that stupid little piece, and then you have your complete figure. And Thunder goes back on the row. A figure with the fourth figure, the final figure of the update, again comes with a plethora of accessories. This is Mutt. Mutt has his weapon. Mutt has kind of a weird baton leash type of thing. Mutt has his helmet. Mutt has his face covering, his mask, his COVID mask. And of course, Mutt has his doggy. And his doggy has his leash. So we have a complete 1984 Mutt with his Mutt. And we add him back to the shelf. I needed some room, so I couldn't put the dog front and center. I had to kind of put him behind. I had to kind of put the dog behind Mutt. So you don't really see a dog on the shelf too much, but he's back there, I promise. Oh, I forgot. The final piece of the 1983 collection came in. Check it out. Grand Slam. Grand Slam Silver has come in. Another $100 figure is now mine. Came with some extra pieces to the jump accessory, so I just slapped that on his back. I already have one attached to the jump, but I figured I'd throw it on him since I paid for it. There we go. The final piece of the 1983 collection. And he's had a nice warm spot waiting for him on Joe Row for quite a while. And that's where we're at. The others I've showed you. The last update I showed you Baroness. And today we've added Mutt, we've added Thunder, we've added Ripcord, we've added Storm Shadow. Let's take a closer look here if I can get in there for you. You can see a little bit of a closer look on the Joes there. There you go. There's the collection thus far. We've got two. Ooh, goodbye. We have almost 2 shelves filled up. Now, I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to fit the final 1984 figures in this section of this shelf. there's only 5 or 6 more. I think I can get them in there. I hope I can get them in there, because that will be 1983 and 1984 on just 2 shelves. And so we're gonna come all the way down, and I hope I'll be able to get them all in this area. Now, I've been talking about this for a little while. When I first started this mission, I said I'm gonna go after a complete G.I. Joe collection, vehicles and figures and playsets. Okay. The reality is, the vehicles are overwhelming. The vehicles are huge. They take up a lot of space, and there's a lot of them. A lot. For every year, except like 83 or 82, there's a lot of vehicles. There's a lot of flying vehicles. There's a lot of just tons of vehicles. I would honestly need to clear out this entire room if I were going to go after a complete G.I. Joe vehicle collection. And I can't do that. So, we're going to be collecting an entire G.I. Joe figure line, with the exception of some of the extremely hard to find mail away $2,500 figures. It's probably not going to happen. But we're going to go after a complete figure line from 1983 to 1989. And then maybe at the end, if I'm still feeling it, I might get the entire 1982 straight arm collection as well, and just have maybe a little shadow box for them or something like that. The originals, the first line of the first modern line that us 80s kids are used to is the 82 straight arm. So those might come, but we started with 83. We've got 84. We're well into 85. They're waiting to be showed off. But I think we're going to stop with all of the vehicles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to collect a couple of things. I'm going to collect very important vehicles. Okay, the Sky Striker, the Mobat, some of the Sergeant Slaughter vehicles, the hovercraft, and the Dragonfly helicopter, the Snowcat. I mean, some of the vehicles that are important to me, we're going to get those. And so we'll have a smaller collection of vehicles, a more manageable, displayable collection of vehicles. But we're going to collect all of the play sets, all of the bases. Okay, the Terradrome, I cannot wait. The Terradrome has a spot right here on this red table that I moved over from the when I had it in the middle of the room. It's kind of my workstation, and it was a wrestling with the pass table. I moved it up against the wall here, and it's going to sit the Terradrome. And therefore, if I cannot get all 6 years of figures on this shelf in this wall space, maybe I'll move some of the figures into the Terradrome. I'll move some of the figures into the Joe base that I have, and there's a couple others. There's a couple other larger play sets, including the flag. So everybody's asking, are you still going to get the flag? Yes, the flag will be the main event of this this collection. So to update, we're going to do 1983 to 1989 figures. We're going to possibly do a 1982 line at the end. We're going to do very select vehicles, important vehicles to me. We're going to do all the bases, and we're going to do all of the little, there's like little, I don't even know what you'd call them. They're just little accessory packs, like a tent, like a little command center, little command post. We've got one already. There's a bunch of those throughout the years, and we're gonna get those too because they're small and they'll look nice next to the bases. We'll try to set up a little world, but The vehicles are too much. They're overwhelming. There's way too many, and it's not a financial issue. It is a space issue. I won't have the room to display them properly, and I'm not going to buy something and put it in a Sterlite tub and pack it away and say, yeah, I've got all the vehicles. They're just packed away somewhere in my garage. I'm not doing that. Anything I get needs to be on full, proud display and not jam-packed in to where you don't even know what you have. So that's why, the figures are getting a proper, spaced-out display so that you can see and enjoy every single figure. You're not looking behind figures. I don't even like those 3-shelf riser things because I feel like figures get lost. So each figure is going to have its own little spot. You're going to know where it is. It's going to be labeled. And, I want to do that with the vehicles, too. I don't want them to get lost. I don't want them to get packed away. I don't want to be overwhelmed. So we're going to do figures. We're going to do play sets. We're going to do the flag. And we're going to do very select vehicles. Again, I named off a few. The Sky Striker is already mine. The Dragonfly I want. Basically all of the 82 and 83 vehicles I'm going to get. Because they're easier to obtain. But we'll pick and choose. We'll pick and choose vehicles. So that's what I'm going to do with G.I. Joe. Coming up, there should be a couple more figures completed by the end of the week. Definitely a new figure to add to the line by the end of the week. And then I'll start going after Spirit and Zartan. Those are the two toughest, the two that are going to be the most, not the most difficult to complete, but the most expensive. Zartan and Spirit are probably going to run me $60, $65 a piece. But we'll get them, we'll throw them up proudly on the shelf, and we'll move on to 1985. So that's it. 4 more for 84, and we'll be back with a whole bunch more stuff from the New 80s Revolution. Until then, good night now.